Sable, a big world full of sand, a journey of discovery and mystery, and a true test of willpower to finish this game, because it's boring. Okay, but let's actually talk about Sable. Sable is an open world story or puzzle game set in a big desert. You as the main character Sable go on the gliding, a time in the life where you travel through the world to find what you will do in your life or what your purpose is. You do that by collecting masks, and at the end of the game you can choose which masks you want the most. Like you are choosing a job and where you are staying. The unique thing about Sable is definitely the art style, but also that it doesn't have combat or death in it. But maybe that is its biggest flaw. Sable takes heavy inspiration from games like Breath of the Wild because of its dungeons and world design, but certainly it isn't as big or as polished as Breath of the Wild. But before we go into more detail about the good and bad of Sable, a quick disclaimer. All of my opinions are subjective. I didn't enjoy my time with the game, but that doesn't mean you will too. But let's get into the good and bad. Sable just looks amazing. The art style is great, paired with the choppy animations. The experience of moving around is very interesting and unique. You might just want to look at an object because everything looks so different from other video games. The story setup is also kinda cool. I really enjoyed the first hour of the game where you are in this small part of the map and get ready to go on a journey in this big world. You build your glider, you get your first mask, and you learn the gliding ability. It is also very sad to go and say bye to everyone and just leave them for however long you are gone. But this is also sadly where the good part of this game ends. You drive through the gate which separates you from the rest of the world with this gorgeous soundtrack in the back, and you just pick and choose where you want to go next. The problem here is with the desert itself. I think they captured the feeling of a desert really well. A big, boring part of land with lots of sand that you don't really want to be in. But this is kinda a problem when you are making a game which only takes place in the desert. Think of Breath of the Wild's desert, but it's the whole game. The main thing you do in this world is doing quests for NPCs to get badges which you can trade in for masks. Some of the quests are also really well designed, like you play hide and seek in this town with little kids. Just ignore that the same quest is in Breath of the Wild or in The Wind Waker. Also, there's a really cool quest where you have to find a hidden mask and scare the guards away to free somebody from a prison. The story is just written very beautifully and the gameplay is actually interesting. But sadly, those quests are the exceptions and not the rule. Because many quests are just go there, take free of something back to the guy which told you to go and get it. Like the most quests in the town of Erica are very diverse and interesting, or feel like a lot of care was put into them, but the rest of the game was just forgotten. But what fetch quests does are sending you through the world. So maybe the world is the main appeal of the game. But sadly, the world is just too empty and not interesting. There is just sand and stones in the desert and nothing else. No collectibles, no items, nothing. Around some settlements, you can maybe find some butterflies or fruits in the desert, but not when you are away from those main attractions. So you travel through a relatively big desert on a buggy glider and with stuttering and loading issues. Like, just look at this one. You just maybe find a race you can do, but even those are so underwhelming. You drive through 4 rings on an uninteresting piece of land and that's it. Okay, enough ranting about the game, because that doesn't help anyone. Let's discuss how to fix it. First, make the world smaller and denser, so that big structures are closer together, but you still can enjoy the emptiness of the desert. But for that, you need a good glider. So fix the glider, make it less physics driven and smoother, so that riding it is actually fun and not annoying. Also, make the dungeons smaller, because it's just unnecessary walking between puzzle elements. Next, introduce more game mechanics. Like, you get all of your abilities at the start of the game, and then it stays the same for a whole game. I surely thought every mask gives you a new ability, but they don't. Just in one quest I needed a shiny mask because the game said so. So give the masks some simple abilities, like the cartographer's mask lets you place more markers and fill out the map by yourself. The machinist mask lets you change your vehicle on the fly and you don't have to go to a machinist in a town. With the trader's mask you can get some lower prices when bartering with other people. Some other masks could give you some different movement abilities, because Sable definitely lacks them. So I think my changes would benefit the game without destroying its original vision. The game would just be more interesting and less annoying, because $25 is just too much for a game like this. And I know it was made by 2 indie developers and their scope is very limited, but I think those changes are fairly reasonable, especially when looking at what they already did. And I asked him to make the world smaller, which would be easier to do. Sable is a game that I really enjoyed for 1 hour. The story was great, the world looked beautiful, and the soundtrack really fits the mood. Sadly, I can't say that for the gameplay, because it was just lacking and I don't think the game is worth $25 for that. I even got the game for free because of Epic Games and I still think it wasn't worth it. But this is just my view. Go and check out some other reviews to really form your opinion. Also check out my own game, Only Control and Roast It. It's only $5, so there isn't much to lose, and have a great day and bye bye.